Star of the upcoming Fantastic Four reboot, Miles Teller, has just joined on for the upcoming film Home is Burning. The film will be helmed by 50/50 and Warm Bodies director Jonathan Levine and is described as follows. Dan's mom has always had cancer. First diagnosed when he was only 10 years old, she was the model of resilience throughout his childhood, fighting her disease with tenacity and a mouth foul enough to make a sailor blush. But just as she faces a relapse, her husband is diagnosed with ALS. Dan, a recent college graduate living the good life in Los Angeles, has no choice but to return home to help. Teller will also serve as one of the producers on the film. Mark, buy or sell the sounds of Home is Burning.
I'm surprisingly going to buy this, and I would want to sell this premise so bad because it sounds like Nicholas Sparks. It sounds like, oh, we're going to give you cancer, but here comes ALS, and now it's a ghost wife with monkeypox. But it's actually not anything that sounds like it, because Miles Teller is that guy that he's producing stuff now, and he seems like this might be a role where he's really gunning for an Oscar. Now, whether he's going to hit that level, I don't know. What I'm buying this for mainly is Jonathan Levine as a director, because he knocked 50/50 so far out of the park, and he took something that could have been such a serious and downer movie, but he made light as well. I mean, 50/50 was the perfect title for that movie because you laughed and you cried. His use of Seth Rogen in that film really intrigues me to see what he can do with Miles Teller, because Miles Teller has been really good in some comedies, and he's missed the mark in some other comedies, and I think that he's going to bring his dramatic chops, but also a comedic side to this role. So I'm very intrigued to see where the script goes, to see if there's a lot of laughs or if this thing is just a total tearjerker for 2 hours. But with Levine directing it, that's why I'm buying it.
I'm actually going to buy this too. And as a side note, you know, Schnepp and Dennis and I have talked for a while about wanting to go to Vegas for about 4 days and crank out an entire script in 4 days. We're still planning on doing that. And we had an idea, but I am now intrigued with this ghost wife with monkeypox idea. I'm totally sold on that.
Have at it. As long as you don't take our Aunt May idea, then you're good to go.
No, ghost wife with monkeypox, I think that's where the money is. Actually, when you read more about this story, too, it goes beyond that, because he also has siblings that are coming home too. And it sounds to me like one of those, we've seen this movie before, but one of these things where something in the family causes the family to come back together and work through their issues. And I gotta tell you, I'm actually a little bit of a sucker for those types of movies. You throw into that, you nailed it with the director. You throw into that a talent like Miles Teller right now, who's becoming a guy that most directors in this town want to work with. Aside from taking issue with, look, there are no recent college graduates living the high life in Los Angeles. Most of them are eating ramen like every single day. But aside from that, no, I like the sounds of this. So for me, it's a buy.
I sell my depression after I read the synopsis, but yeah, I buy the overall synopsis of it. And like Mark said, with the director and the fact, it sounds like 50/50 meets Garden State almost. And
oh, that's a good analogy.
And yeah. you have Miles Teller playing that role now, and yeah, I want to see, like you said, John, you could really put that family element. Who's the fan? Like for me, this is where I leave you. Is the most recent movie that dealt with that family drama. I really enjoyed that film. I know some people didn't, but I thought what they did well with bringing the family, adding the drama, but not just because this. From the sound of this, it could be very depressing, and I'm sure elements of it will be. But you have to also bring together what 50/50 did with that type of humor and those elements with a talent like Miles Teller, and even the mother. The description of the mother being the foul mouth and everything, like that's a juicy role for an actress overall. So I want to see who they cast as the family. I want to see the back and forth. And yeah, because of the talent involved so far, let's get the monkeypox going.